Hi guys, it's Kelly Latevola here, and I am back with another video for honeybee stamps. And before we get started, I just want to tell you, in case that you are watching this like on the deadline, if we're right on the cusp, there is actually a sale going on for all of the animals that I'm using here. So I'm using the, oh, I forgot about it now. I forgot what the name of the stencil was. This cute little diamond stencil. I'll link it. You know I will. And then the small gang stamp set, I'm using Mae the Mouse, Stamps and Dies, Pinky the Pig, and Bill the Bear. And then I'm also using the little Deckle dies. Why is that so hard to come up with? I'm not really sure. So here I just wanted to briefly show you. A lot of people ask me about my stencils, so every once in a while I just try to throw it in there and show what I do. I'm using Tombow Mono Multi Glue. Yes, it has to be this glue because it dries repositionable. So I put this on the back of all of my stencils. It does take a little bit of time, and when I say a little bit of time, I mean a little bit. Like I did this whole stencil in about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And I don't like glob on the glue. I just put a little bit goes a long way. And then I set it aside to dry. As far as storing them, I store them in the same packaging that they come in. So I just stick them back down and then I peel them off when I need to. I've never had an issue with like a stencil getting stuck or sticking. If you find when you put it on your paper, sometimes the first time you use it, it leaves behind a little bit of glue. I just use a white eraser to pick that up. That's really hard to say. White eraser. Anyway, it's kind of hard to, it's not a big issue to pick it up with a white eraser. That's what I'm trying to say. And then, so yeah, then they're good, I don't think I've ever had to put glue on another one, and I use them repeatedly. So, moving on to the rest of the card. Those are, oh, did I even say what they were on sale for? They're 15% off, yo. That's what I'm trying to say. Through March 9th. It's Party Animal Week. And so we're using all the animals because they're adorable, and who doesn't love critters? So I stamped the sentiment, and then I set that aside because I'm going to die cut it when I die cut all the rest of them. I switched from the Hero Arts ink that I stamped my sentiment in to the Gina K Amalgam ink. This is waterproof, Copic safe, all those things, dark black, just the way I like it. And but I can color with my Copics, and that makes me happy. So I am stamping all of those little critters that I talked about in those, just on Nina's Solar White. Now, if you watch my videos, you know I will tell you, do all your coloring before you do your die cutting. That's what I tell you. But this time I'm breaking the rules. I'm breaking out, folks. The reason that I am is because I'm not going to use the entire image. So here I've kind of laid out my card front the way that I want it to look, and I'm drawing a little line on the animals where they actually need to be colored. If you use alcohol markers over pencil marks, it will seal them in, but because you're not going to see it, it's going to be hidden behind the sentiment. I'm not even stressing about it. We're moving on to the background now. This is a fast-paced card. I feel like we're like zipping through here. I'm using the Salty Ocean Distress Oxide ink, and I'm starting in the center. That's going to be covered up by the sentiment, so I don't care what it looks like. And I know it looks like trash. That's okay. Don't judge me. Nobody's going to see it. And nobody's going to see yours either if you decide to do it this way and yours looks like trash in the middle. It'll be fine. But I'm just like blending it out soft kind of to the edges. Not all the way, because I still kind of want that white border. I want there to be like a nice soft blue glow, because blue is my boyfriend and I love blue very much. So I want that to be there, but then in order to add a little bit of interest, I'm going to use that stencil. Before I use the stencil with the glue on it, I kind of like smush my hands on it a couple of times, just to remove a little bit of the stick, and then put that down on my paper. I am not applying a ton of color here because I still want it to be a soft background, but I want that tone on tone pattern to be there. And you'll notice in the center, like you won't even see the pattern at all, because I didn't even really go over that, kind of, not even really. So after that's done, I'm cheating. You can use Perfect Pearls to do this, but I didn't want to mix it up. I'm feeling lazy tonight. So I am using the Hero Arts White Iridescent Shimmer. I just shook that up and then used the little tubing for the spray to just like spatter that on. I am also, I always keep a water bottle like at my craft desk with the lid on it. And that's how I fill up my water bowls because, again, can we revisit the fact that I'm lazy and I don't really want to get up and go to the kitchen or the bathroom to fill up my water bowls. So I just used the cap this time to sprinkle a little bit of clean water on there to break up that color. And then I just set it aside to dry so I could move on to the coloring. The reason that I don't like coloring like once the die cuts are cut out is because I don't really like chasing the little things around to have to color them. But these critters are such a good size that it really didn't even bother me to have to color them after they already die cut. And I'm only coloring the parts that are going to be seen. I'm not going to waste my time or my ink coloring pieces parts that nobody is even going to know exists. For the shading on Mae the Mouse here, I am going around the ears. I'm adding some shading behind the nose to give that a little bit of dimension, around the face, definitely under the neck, and then around the outside of the arms. So this is being shaded as if there was like a center highlight. And then I'm just going to go through, I'm using the cool grays for this one because I want my little mouse to be gray. You'll see when I do Bill the Bear. I love their names, by the way. Isn't that just like the cutest thing? Bill the Bear. Makes me think of Build-A-Bear, which I've never actually done. I've never built a bear before. My mama did build me a bear when I graduated from college. My degree is in criminal justice, and I wanted to be a police officer. Now, obviously, that's not the way that my life went, and that's okay. But so she built me a bear that was like a little police officer, and then she recorded this little message in it, you know, that she loved me and she was so proud of me because she's a wonderful mommy. But yeah, I've never actually gone and built one. I should probably take Peanut. He would probably really like that. And now, like, it's just so blown up and crazy. There's all kinds of, you know, outfits and to-dos, and you don't have to just do bears. You can do, like, unicorns and turtles, and I actually don't know if they have unicorns and turtles. I'm only assuming. I'm kind of making that up. So don't go to your local Build-A-Bear and be like, Kelly Latevola said that I could build a unicorn, because I don't work there and I don't represent them. Moving on before I get some sort of like cease and desist or like copyright infringement letter. So adding all the shading there, my little mouse is gray. I think that she's totally adorable. We're moving on to, in fact, Bill the Bear. And this time I'm using the warm grays. Now, here's why I went with the warm grays. So originally I was going to do a brown bear. And I just didn't really think that I would love brown with the little pink pig and the blue background. I just didn't think that I would love it. So I was like, well, I'll just use the warm grays and then it'll be brownish. Because the warm grays are more on the brown side. And I did really like it. I did think it was a good color choice. Again, I'm doing this as if it has a center highlight, adding that shading behind his little nose and underneath his snout. The arm on the left-hand side will be showing, so I am adding shading to that on the inside as well. It would have shading where it was closest to his body. And yeah, so pretty much the shading is like almost all the same, and the only real color besides the background in this card is, in fact, Pinky the Pig, which I've never used before. Like, I've owned Pinky the Pig, but I've never used it. It's such an adorable little set. It's got like little pig wings and all of these little accessories. Well, they all have accessories. Bill is a camper, and I come to think of it, I've never used him before either. Yikes. I really am like slacking on my critter game, probably because I'm busy coloring all the flowers, because that's just how I roll. So this was a good thing for me, this little party animal week, because it busted me out of the things I normally color, apparently. So what has been going on with life? Not really a whole lot. We had youth group this evening. We covered budgets. It was riveting. I'm kidding. No, but it is important to talk about because a lot of people aren't having the discussion with kids about how to be responsible with their money. To be quite honest, a lot of people aren't having the discussion with adults about how to be responsible with their money. So it was something that we kind of wanted to tackle and just have that discussion with them. Yeah, just I think that there are so many things that are important that we don't think to talk to our, like, today's youth about, and then we get confused why they don't understand how to do things. Well, if nobody ever taught you, then how are you supposed to know? Do you know what I mean? Like, nobody ever sat down with me and was like, hey, this is how you create a budget. And like, growing up, my parents were like, don't get yourself into credit card debt. Like, that makes sense. And like little things like that. But as far as like my actual finances, not really a whole lot of guidance there, and not really a whole lot of other resources available to me. Like, when I was in school, they didn't teach me that or anything. So we covered that, and so that was good, and we had pizza, and so now the next one will be event-based, and I'm not really sure what we're going to do yet, but one of the girls said they wanted to play soccer. I've also never played soccer. I mean, like when I was in gym, but if you have watched my channel before, you know I have a this is so ridiculous to say as a grown woman, but it's true, so I'm gonna share it anyway. Again, I have a anxiety about playing organized sports that came from a situation from when I was a kid in elementary school, and so I just really don't do it. So soccer's pretty much out for me. But I have found with youth group that it does push me to do things that I wouldn't normally do because I want to be engaged and involved with the kids from youth group. So yeah, so we did that, and this is Dr. Seuss week at Peanut School, so they're dressing up each day for Dr. Seuss week. So they had what was it? Yesterday was one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. So they wore red or blue. I'm sorry, they wore red or blue. And then today it was Cat in the Hat Day, so they could wear stripes or a hat. So just kind of like they're having a lot of fun with that. Just really interesting things. I went and volunteered at his class again last week, and they did the Magic E. And so that was very interesting. The kids are very sweet and very smart. So the Magic E is like turns hop into hope or mad into made, like, because it's the Magic E that goes in the end and changes the word. And so that was super fun to do with them. They had like little gold coins that had an E on it, and then, you know, when it was their turn, they got a coin. It was super cute. And then he had a sleepover with Nana and Papa, which I have to tell you right now is pretty much the highlight of his life. Like, a sleepover with Nana and Papa is the best thing ever. So every time there's a sleepover with Nana and Papa, he writes it on his calendar, and then he pretty much just counts down the days until he can go sleep over at Nana and Papa's, which I really can't even give him a hard time about, because I fake sleep. Like, I was fake sleeping pretty much all through my childhood so that I could spend the night at my grandmother's house. Like, you don't even know. I was committed, guys, because I would fake sleep in my grandma's bed, and she would be like, oh, just let them stay. They're already sleeping. And my mom's like, she is not sleeping. Nobody here is sleeping. It's not happening. She's wide awake. She's pretending. And then they would like carry me out to the car while I was fake sleeping. And then I had to fake sleep like the entire ride home, which was like 20 minutes. Do you know how hard it is to fake sleep for 20 minutes? It's very difficult. But I was committed because I wanted to spend the night at my graham crackers. So he doesn't even do that. The other last week, I went over there. So my parents had gone on vacation, and he wanted to spend the night, and he couldn't spend the night. My mom promised him that he could spend the night when they came back. That's what happened. And so I was like, well, because I was working during the day and he was at school, I was like, if he sleeps over at your house, I won't even see him. So I'm going to come, even though he's going to spend the night, I'm going to come over so that I can see him at night. And she was, you know, obviously they're like, okay, that's fine. Like, what are they going to tell me? I can't come to their house? I'm their child. It doesn't matter that I'm grown. And so when I showed up, he was like, oh, hi, mommy. And I was like, hi, buddy. And he's like, but I'm staying here. I was like, yes, I know. I just came to see you so that we could spend some time together. And then he was like, oh, okay, let me give you a hug and love you. But before that, he was like, all wary, like, you know that I'm staying here. Like, I'm not going with you. I'm staying here. You know this, right? A sleepover Nana and Papa night. So that is funny. I'm glad that he likes to spend the night with my mom and dad, because I certainly loved spending the night at my grandma's. So here, this is, I just tucked all my little animals behind my sentiment, which, to be honest, even though these critters are, like, low-key the cutest thing I've ever seen. The sentiment for me is what gets me. I love that. You and I are more than friends. We're like a really small gang. I thought it was super, super cute. And so then I cleaned up the edges. I put some clear Wink Stella on it. And then that was pretty much it. That's the whole card. So this won't fit into a regular A2 size envelope. You'll have to upgrade to like an A7 or a 5x7. Like you'll need to upgrade it because they do overhang, but I think totally worth it because I think it's super adorable. So yeah, that's it. That's the whole card. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and everything will be linked below if you want to head over and check out what else is on sale. All right, guys, catch you on the next one. Bye.